It's an exciting time to be a Sherlock fan because, as many of you guys may know, Sherlock Season 4 has finally premiered after like a 2.5-year hiatus. So I figured I would talk about the first episode and share all of my thoughts and feelings with you guys. Hello everyone, it is Samantha and I hope you guys are having a great day. Today's video is all about one of my favorite television shows, and that is the BBC version of Sherlock. It's starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman. And as I said in the intro, it has finally returned from its almost 3-year hiatus with a brand new season. And last Sunday, at the time of filming, it was actually a week ago, we had our first episode of season 4, which was called the Six Thatchers. So I thought that I would share all of my thoughts and feelings with you guys. This will be a spoiler video, so if you have not watched the episode, then do not watch this video because I will be spoiling you. So that is my fair warning before you watch this video. If you're gonna watch it and you haven't watched the actual episode, you will be spoiled. All right, so moving in to my thoughts about this episode. The episode itself starts basically right after the end of season 3. So you have Sherlock with his brother being pulled off the plane, talking to the group of people that Mycroft was talking to at the end of episode 3 of the 3rd season, and kind of distracted. He's like on his phone, tweeting apparently, because he now tweets. And then it kind of shows in a really, really fast way all of the little things going on leading up to Mary having her baby. And then Mary, of course, has her baby, and that's really when the story kind of starts. After Mary has given birth and their child, Rosamund, is a few months old, is kind of when the story picks up. So very usual events are going on. These busts of Margaret Thatcher are being broken. People's houses are being broken into, and these busts are being smashed for apparently no reason. But of course, Sherlock has his theories. Also, Sherlock is still intrigued by the fact that Moriarty from the afterlife left a message across all of the television screens in England saying, "Did you miss me?" Which of course is why Sherlock was pulled off the plane and saved from his punishment for killing Magnuson. So that's the basic plot of the story. There's a lot going on, kind of Sherlock trying to find his new dynamic now that Mary and John have had their child. They don't have as much time for him, etc. So the actual filming this season already feels a lot different from the past 3 seasons. It felt a little bit jumpy to me. It was a little bit hard to follow, and I'm hoping the rest of the episodes this season will not be like that. I don't really know what was going on. It was like they're trying to get a little bit too clever with their filming. The Sherlock filming, the BBC Sherlock filming has always been a little bit clever. They'll have text on the screen showing like his text messages or other things of that nature, and it's always been fairly clever. I've always kind of liked the way that they did that, but I feel like they're going a little bit over the top with it this season. Plus the way that the events were happening, they felt very, very jumpy. Like the way they were jumping from scene to scene, they didn't have a flow. It felt very clunky. I think that's the word I'm looking for. So it was a little bit hard to follow. I did, however, like that this plot focused on Mary and her past. You learn about Mary's past role as a spy, an international spy assassin, and what that meant, as well as other people in her group, as well as what the initials meant on that USB drive that she gave to John. So it was kind of interesting to hear more about her past and how that's now affecting the current events, because you find out that it was an ex-member of her team trying to find the busts of Margaret Thatcher and smash them because he hid his own USB drive in one of those busts. So it was kind of interesting to see her past kind of catch up with her. In this episode, you also saw Sherlock, of course, becoming a little bit too full of himself, a little bit too sure, which ultimately culminates in Mary's death, which I'm actually was pretty surprised by. I was not expecting them to kill her off in the first episode. I anticipated something happening to John's family, whether it be him, Mary, or their daughter, but I was not expecting Mary to die the first episode. So though I wasn't necessarily surprised by the fact that she did die, I was surprised that they did that in the first episode, which kind of makes me wonder what they have in store for the 3rd episode. Mark Gatiss and Moffat have said that this is going to be one of the darkest seasons, so it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening in the next 2 episodes that we have left. I also feel a little bit bad for Sherlock. He definitely got too full of himself and too sure of himself and what he expected people to do, and I think that's because he's really allowed himself to have and display more emotion than he has in the first few seasons. He's actually allowing himself to show that he cares about other people, and I think that he might see this as affecting his actual work and how he analyzes situations. Him letting himself express and actually have these feelings is affecting the way that he processes things, which I think it'll be interesting to see how he handles it in the next 2 episodes. Now I kind of want to talk about John's character. I do not like what they did with John's character. They had him basically pursuing an affair with another woman. And to be perfectly frank, I feel like this is very inconsistent with the character that they have set up for John throughout the past 3 seasons. I just don't buy that he would do it. The way that they have developed his character over the past several episodes, the past 3 seasons, I just feel like it was inconsistent for him to do this. I just don't buy it. I just don't buy that John would have an affair with somebody else. I just don't. And it really, really irked me. I feel like it was unnecessary to even go down that road. And it just really, really bugged me. I don't know why, but it really, really did. I felt unnecessary and inconsistent, and I didn't like it. And so I'm assuming now that he's going to have guilt now that Mary is dead, and he, of course, was cheating on her, and he was about ready to tell her, I assume, before she was killed. They were called out. I just feel like they could have dealt with that in another way. I don't feel like they needed to make John a cheater, and I don't know why it bugged me. I think it bugged me because I don't want to see John do that, and because I felt like it was inconsistent with his character. I could see Sherlock doing that, but I have a really, really hard time seeing John do that. I don't know. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on that revelation with John's character. I want to know if I'm alone in thinking that that was inconsistent, because to me, it just really bugged me. I can't handle it. Those are my basic thoughts on this episode. It was definitely, I think, setting it up for the season. I really want to see what happens with Moriarty, what's going on with that video that was released, as well as seeing the new villain, especially one of the biggest villains in all of the seasons of Sherlock so far. Also, Mark Gatiss and Moffat has said that they've left seeds in the past 3 seasons, every single season leading up to this one, that gives you hints at what's supposed to happen this season. So I want to see if I kind of pick up on anything. I think eventually I want to rewatch all of the episodes and see if I can catch anything after I've watched them all, but we shall see. So I'm definitely excited to see how Moriarty plays into this, if the new villain is connected to Moriarty, and just like what's going on with that. I really, really hope they focus more on Moriarty and they don't like leave that hanging for another season. There is a rumor that this will be the last season, so if that's the case, it'll be interesting to see how they tie everything up. So out of 5 stars, if I had to rate this episode, I would probably rate it 3. It definitely was not what I was hoping for, but I am keeping an open mind that it will get better as the episodes go along, but we shall see. I really, really hope they don't let me down, because this is one of my favorite shows, and I hate it when your favorite show kind of takes a nosedive in terms of writing and filming. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight's episode and next week's episode. Crossing my fingers it'll be good. All right, guys, if you have watched this episode, I would love to hear your thoughts on it and what you think is going to happen and what you think is going on. Just whatever you want to throw down in the comments, feel free to do so. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a lovely day. Until next time, bye.